Hello world, you know what I'm talking about today, so I am going to make this one real quick. Currently right now, you're seeing a lot of people finally talking about how terrible slop content is on YouTube, and this is something that makes me really happy because this is the thing that I've been bringing up for a very long time. So to finally see bigger creators with more influence talk about it, I knew something good was gonna happen, and maybe in the future this content may go away or it might become better. Then I just got hit with a reminder that we're in the modern era of YouTube, so of course that's never going to happen, and the majority of these videos criticizing this whole problem are just extremely bad. They literally come in three types. One is that a YouTuber actually makes a very good video talking about it and breaking down this whole topic. This is something that's so rare that I only need one hand to count how much times this happened. Two, a YouTuber makes an extremely good video, but for some weird reason deletes it and rather one, never re-uploads it, or two, if they do re-upload it, it becomes worse, which is something that's very interesting that this happened more than once. Or three, the video is just absolutely terrible and it's just a person making the most dumbest takes of all time. But one thing that I've been seeing happening a lot when people talk about this field is that for some weird reason they'll just give some content creators a random pass, even though they do the same thing that they claim they hate. And the one person who is seen happening to the most easily has to be everyone's favorite overhated and underhated person on the internet, MoistCrltikal. This is something that's shocking to me because MoistCrltikal is kind of everything wrong with the slop scene in just one person. The majority of his videos are extremely low quality work with barely any editing, something that a lot of people say that they hate. When he talks about drama, it's usually filled to the brim with misinformation because he doesn't do any research at all, and even when the misinformation gets exposed, he refuses to delete the video, which is something that everyone claims that they hate. Or if it's not that, a lot of his modern videos are rather one, based off someone else's work, or two, literally just him using a stream highlight, which is also two things that a lot of people claim that they hate. It also doesn't help that he's still doing damage with his reaction content. Yes, it is good that he's not making reaction content anymore, but his old videos of him reacting to other people's videos are still up on his channel, which means they're still doing damage, which means he only 50% fixed the problem. Even if we're leaving the slop field, he does tons of other things that I see other YouTubers get blasted for, whether that's shoving merch down people's face. He's still probably one of the only few YouTubers who will make a whole video on his channel just shilling his merch that, I'm just gonna be honest, not really a lot of people care about, except Godslap. I actually think YouTubers making comics and leaving the field is pretty good. Although I think Godslap is garbage, I just do think it's good that YouTubers are starting to do that, or whether that's other sponsorships and stuff. And speaking of sponsorships, he also takes extremely bad ones. Are we just gonna completely forget the one time he took a sponsorship, which was basically just a payday loan? Are we just gonna pretend that doesn't happen? It seems like his community and the whole YouTube community is just pretended this doesn't happen, and I just think this is crazy that tons of people are going after slop and they're refusing to talk about MoistCrltikal, even though I could probably come up with a reason why. One, you have his fan base. His fan base obviously isn't talking about him because they're just the biggest meat riders of all time, straight up just taking the moisty meat down in their esophagus, and they're just parasocial glazers, so that's why they're never talking about it. But when it comes to the creators, I think it's probably two reasons. One is fear, and the second one is Mr. Beast syndrome. Let me talk about Mr. Beast syndrome first because that one's more unique. Mr. Beast syndrome is something that I like to coin because everything on the internet needs to be a funny term, and I'm gonna make one of my own. This is when a content creator is criticized for just extremely dumb reasons, so it causes a lot of people to basically just ignore every time when they get criticized. Mr. Beast is a prime example of this because most of the time when he got criticized before the dog pack situation was just for extremely dumb stuff, which just allowed Mr. Beast to actually get away with him doing very bad things inside of his video. And also, dog pack is a good example. Mr. Beast syndrome will usually cause people like dog pack, where since everyone knows there's a lot of hatred for the creator, when someone actually tries to make an exposed video, it comes out really bad, and it makes this whole self-fulfilling prophecy of allowing the creator to basically just get away with doing anything. And two, fear is self-explanatory. A lot of YouTubers don't like to criticize certain people, especially if the creator has a rapid fan base like MoistCrltikal. And I know this will be a point where I should go and make fun of them and call them a snowflake or just whatever buzzword I can come up with that basically means weak, but I'm gonna be honest, I honestly don't blame YouTubers for being scared. I am someone who's not afraid to give out my own opinion, so So I have criticized extremely popular content creators before, and I know for a fact that dealing with their fan base is very annoying, whether that's you having to hear some of the most dumbest comments of all time, or them going out of their way to basically just go and harass you. Like, Asmongold fans are still extremely angry at me to this day, all because I decided to criticize him. And you see my numbers. I'm basically no one. If they're willing to go out of their way to bother a no one, imagine what they'll do to someone who's actually extremely popular. I can't imagine the stupidity that they have to go and deal with. So I don't blame creators that they don't want to deal with that issue at all. And I think it's fear the main reason why they don't want to talk about it. But don't worry, me, Lua to the moon here, I'm here to basically do that for you and say that this double standard is extremely dumb. Unfortunately, I feel like people talking about slop isn't going to do anything because they're just going to do what most people do when they bring up terrible things and just use some people as a sacrifice. You see this a lot in the reaction space, as when people want to criticize reaction creators, they usually go after easy targets that everyone knows is bad, like Hassan or Essa Sniper Wolf, and ignoring the people who are really causing the damage. I feel like the same thing is going to happen here. Most people are going to go after people like Hachito and Pyro Live because they're easy targets and, well, they're easy to make fun of. Hachito is an extremely soft loser, and Paracynical, he's Paracynical, funny guy who ended up getting caught gooning to inflation art. So weird and quirky. So let's just go and make fun of them, while people like MoistCrltikal and Some Ordinary Gamer, who does the exact same thing, we just go and give them a pass. And yeah, I just think that's extremely sad, but not really that surprising at all. That's it. This is just a thing that I wanted to go and talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night.